the show where we talk. I don't remember it. Where we talk about movies and television and stuff. I am your host, Charles.
Welcome to Something Random, where sometimes we talk about movies, sometimes we talk about television, but we always talk about something random.
Always.
That was your attempted host, Charles Joseph Kelly. And I'm Michael C. Macbeth.
My name's Joel.
Woo!
And I am also here to record.
My name's Joel. I'm a Libra. Are you a Libra?
No.
I don't know.
Dude, you know my sign. We have
I
the
know
same
it's
birthday.
That's what the joke was.
Okay, let's see.
It's funny.
I got it.
That is funny.
It's good because
Wow.
we have the same birthday.
Wow.
I'm a Cancer.
Mm.
Michael, what are you?
I believe I'm an Aries.
Oh, you just had your birthday. That's
Yeah.
right. I forgot.
We're Cancer babies.
Cancer babies.
Which is just a great joke.
Great band name.
Well,
I actually, I was at a Memorial Day barbecue.
Okay, yes. Okay, so is this the band name post that you made?
Yes.
I need some backstory to this post.
Honestly, I forgot the backstory, but they were telling a story about. Okay, so vaguely, they were at trivia night at a bar.
Okay.
And somebody was talking about needing a loofah to clean out someone's butthole or something.
As one, I mean, you should.
Right. And apparently this woman likes other women, so the band name is Lesbian and a Loofah.
That was a good one.
It's not bad. Not a bad band name. It's catchy.
Yeah, there was
very indie, but
there was a ska related thread. There was like Ska Shank Redemption, and then like Ska Wars and stuff like that.
Okay,
and I was
okay.
like, Skoctor Who?
Skoctor Who. That's not bad.
Yeah. So that was also
Cool.
Glamidia was a good one that I made.
That was a classic.
Yeah.
We for those of you who don't know, Charles and I are members of a Facebook group just called Band Names, and so people come up with the most random band names they possibly can. Sometimes they use news stories. There was a really old one that was just an amazing. Oh, it was something about like goats floating in a river or something. Gosh, I can't even remember. But
That's a good story.
it was really epic.
You should tell it on a podcast. Yep. Joel, how are you?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you really okay? So there's some news that we need to talk about. Are you actually feeling okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm doing all right.
You doing okay? You seemed really good.
I've been painting sea creatures and things. So
Under the sea.
how could I not be in a good mood?
Under the sea
Yeah.
creatures.
I saw whichever of the two eels it was, but on your
Yeah, one of the
I was gonna say
puppets.
Tinder, but that's not the one that I saw it on
Snapchat.
on your Snapchat. But it was good.
The puppets are amazing. I'm working with this dude, Carl, who's a great puppet maker. He's doing Scuttle. There's 4 other seagulls.
I am
Flotsam and
excited for Scuttle.
Jetsam, Flounder, all the puppets.
Nice. Are they doing rollerblades in the show?
They are not. No,
Not.
because that's silly.
They usually do Heelys, not even rollerblades.
Yeah, but they're
so
not.
people
They're
can
not
walk.
doing any of the roller skating because that's really kind of silly.
And the BDT stage is an odd shape, and that sounds incredibly dangerous.
Here's what you do.
Yeah.
Here's what I think. I want to do Little Mermaid in the near future, right? And I want some like ramps, right? So you can do some like Tony Hawk shit off of a ramp, do some grinds and stuff like mid-show.
But you'd have to have actual rollerblades or roller skates for that.
Or
and
actual-
not
no,
the Heelys.
skateboards.
No,
skateboards.
it's all you can do skateboards, and you can actually cast Tony Hawk.
As
Tony
Eric.
Hawk.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Why don't we just do a Tony Hawk musical? That would make more sense.
No. You would need to do.
I mean, The Little Mermaid's already written. We may as
Yeah.
well just.
exactly. Just
That's true. But Disney's not about too many alterations, so
they're
that
not
might
gonna. It's not gonna be the music is altered. It's just the vision of the show.
even that, like, they're very, very finicky about costumes and set design and stuff.
Yeah, they'll be all right.
Okay. Well,
be-
cool.
you know.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be a stick in the mud. I just think that a Tony Hawk musical is something people would pay to see.
Yeah, Tony Hawk the musical. I dig it.
It could happen.
I mean, besides from this random shit, what have you guys been watching this week?
Yo.
Well, I have been spending lots of time at the theater, the movie theater.
Ooh.
But yeah, so I watched Solo last week.
Did you? Okay, question before we get into it. Did you watch it by yourself?
I did not. I watched it with. He would be the Chewbacca of movies for me.
The Chewbacca of movies? It's just somebody
Of watching movies.
Somebody who just talks through it the entire time?
No.
Who's
no,
who? Who's the Chewbacca?
What, are we supposed to name drop here?
No.
Okay.
Just say Chewie. You went to see with Chewie.
My friend came with me, and we watched it together the same way that Han and Chewie would do something together.
Naked.
Just a lot of fur. So, no, I did not watch it by myself, is the short answer to that question. I saw where you were going from the second you asked.
Yeah.
So anyway, what did you think of the movie?
I'm about 50-50 on it. It was entertaining, for sure. It was fun to watch. However, there were so many of those classic prequel gimmicks and eye roll moments where they did lines like directly from the original trilogy, and just like, that's not necessary. Also, I feel like they sort of rushed into the inseparable bond that Han and Chewie have. It's like, oh, we meet. Oh, I'm going to help you with this little thing. And now we're the best of friends and we're spending all our time together. Like, it seemed very forced and very rushed to me.
Very forced.
Yes, and no spoilers, but gratuitous cameo towards the end that I just about vomited, to be honest.
But you got to see the movie to see who it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Was it Ron Howard?
You saw it, right?
No, I haven't seen Solo.
Oh, you haven't seen Solo?
No.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad I'm not doing spoilers then. But I thought you said you had seen it. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, so not my favorite. My friend ranked all of the Star Wars films that have been made so far in order from his favorite to his least favorite. The only one that I would change, The Last Jedi was very low on his list. And I was like, well, that was an amazing Star Wars film. That belongs right below Return of the Jedi, in my opinion.
Do we go 2, 1, 3 for top 3 Star Wars films?
What? What do you mean?
For top 3?
Yes. Do we do Empire?
I go Empire, New Hope, Return of the Jedi. I totally agree with that.
I don't have much of an opinion.
Just because the dialogue was so much fun and all the big reveals happened in Empire Strikes Back. And it was just...
Yeah, and I mean, like, especially in Last Jedi, when he just sucks that monster titty, it's just like... It's so good.
I like I like 4, 5, and 6. Obviously, those are my 3 favorite. I think those are kind of most people's favorite, maybe, other than a younger audience that liked 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
The new ones are good, but I like I like A New Hope. That's probably my favorite one.
There's no beating it, and they tried with Force Awakens, and
Force Awakens was okay.
It was okay, but it was essentially a rehashing of A New Hope.
See, and that's how I feel about all the movies for Star Wars lately, and that's why I probably won't go see Solo, because I'm all the movies are okay.
Yeah.
Last Jedi, on the other hand, was, I think, much better than it should have been, specifically because it's trying to do something new.
Right.
And those movies are like, hey, here's Luke Skywalker. Guess what? Let's go hang out with him for an hour.
Right.
And it's just like, all right, cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and people were up in arms about that movie because they changed so many things, and I'm like, what, are you guys not refreshed? I mean, there are so many Star Wars films coming out. I want something that's slightly different from all the other Star Wars films that I've been watching.
Yeah, if you'd want to watch the same thing over and over, go watch the other movies.
Exactly, or watch any of the re-edits of the original trilogy, because there's like thousands of them. I will say, too, though, that Donald Glover did not disappoint. Loved him as Lando Calrissian.
Cool.
He was spectacular.
Great.
Also watched Deadpool 2. The Second Coming was the tagline there for Deadpool 2.
What did you think?
I loved it. Talk about not being disappointed. Yeah.
Good.
Like, I can't spoil too much because so much happened and it was all wonderful.
I thought it was I liked it a lot, except for the first act, which is kind of weird. Like, getting up to the moment where they do the intro card, which was great, just was difficult. And then after that point, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
But it was just not that. It's weird because most movies like fall apart in the third act. Not like the first act is hard to watch.
Right. I mean, they did it sort of in the style of a Pixar movie in that way.
Yeah.
Where you're like sad at the very beginning.
There's some
and then it gets more fun.
There's some cool reveals and some cameos that are absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it was a good movie.
It was.
It's not as good as the first.
It's impossible to expect that of a sequel, though.
Yeah, I
honestly, unless they get to a trilogy. I mean, yeah, that's why Empire Strikes Back is like the best sequel, pretty much of all time, in most people's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I still gotta watch Deadpool 1. I haven't seen it yet.
It was amazing.
I'll do that. It's on my list. I just haven't checked it out yet.
Well, what have you been watching, if not Deadpool?
No, I haven't watched Deadpool. I did watch a couple new movies, though. Last night, I watched In the Line of Fire. You know this one? This is Clint Eastwood. He's a Secret Service agent. Good movie. Unfortunately, I watched it on an on-demand channel that's censored. So it like all the cuss words were replaced, that kind of thing. So you could tell. Yep. You could easily tell. And there were a lot of other scenes that were edited, in which like people like violent scenes where they kind of cut away and stuff. So I might have to actually find a better version of it. It was the only free one, and I had been watching like a third of it before I went, oh man, this is whatever. But a good movie. Yeah. I knew how it ended because I watched the ending. It was on TV years ago, but I watched it anyway. It's great. John Malkovich is creepy as hell, and did a good job. I watched Hidden Figures, which is the one about the black ladies in NASA in the 60s or the 50s.
Which is such a good movie.
Yeah, it's great. And their struggle with segregation and all that, and trying to just work at this company, and it was good. So, friends of mine wanted to watch it, think it looks good, and I'm like, it's hard to say, oh, it's a really good movie, you'll like it, because there are a lot of long, boring parts that have to do with science and space, and that not everybody would like. And so, because it's not just about, their struggle in that time period, it's also about a lot of what they did and stuff. So I don't know, there was a lot of I liked it because I like science and that kind of thing, but not for everyone. Still a good movie. I loved it. And then I finally checked out, which I had never seen before, was Bewitched, which was
with
great.
Will Ferrell
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah. I thought it was adorable.
It's fun.
The sitcom is one of my very favorite shows, and I've watched every episode probably 10 times. And
I like that it was about making a reboot show.
Yeah, it was cool. It was an interesting twist. They didn't just like pull it out and reboot it,
right?
Which I loved that they did that. It was a new twist, like I said, and it was done really well. Shirley MacLaine was great,
yes,
as Endora, or the lady playing Endora. Steve Carell has a great cameo as Paul Lynde.
Oh, that's right. It's been a while since I've seen this.
And he's great. Loved it. And well, there was something I wanted to talk about really bad, and now I'm kind of hesitant to, but I am going to say.
Okay, let's talk about this, because there's something that kind of leads into my conversation.
Okay.
What I want to talk about.
Okay.
And I think it's a perfect segue.
Okay.
No. You go.
Okay, I'll go ahead.
You do you, boo.
So, as most of you know, Roseanne was my favorite show. I love it to death. I've watched every episode probably 30 times, which is a lot more than Bewitched. It's like, I feel like these guys were my family. I grew up with them. When they came back, it was like family members I hadn't seen in a long time. It was just weird, you know. I'd never had this kind of connection with the show before. And the finale was great. I watched it twice. I cried. I loved it. And then... whatever you want, however you want to...
She got racist. I mean, she has been, but she said some shit, man.
I guess I didn't see the actual thing.
It was the straw to break the camel's back. It was the last final thing, and people kind of went crazy. I'm not going to even repeat like verbatim what she said, but she said some very, inconsiderate, kind of illiterate, and frankly racist things, and she's being punished for it.
Yeah, because they had renewed it for a second season, or season 11.
Right.
And
season 2 of the reboot.
I guess it's been canceled. But she, in the past couple of weeks, she's gotten a lot of shit for being a Trump supporter and blah, blah, blah. And, her character being a Trump supporter. And I'm not going to get political, but she did go into talking about Stormy Daniels and, talking a lot of smack about her and... a lot of other people in the White House, and not a lot, but here and there. And now we're getting into, again, I don't know what, I didn't look at it. I don't know exactly what it was. I just heard it was a racist thing. So
yeah,
it's unfortunate. I
didn't hear it either, and it is unfortunate, and it's so upsetting. However, I feel like there's a lot of celebrities out there who are still secretive about their feelings towards this, or sexual assaults and things like that. And it's not something that we can ever predict or know about someone until it's kind of too late.
Yeah, and I mean, that's I kind of want to go into that a bit more, specifically when it comes to Jeffrey Tambor and Arrested Development, because I've watched the entire new season, which I haven't. It's only the first half that came out, which I just found out.
Oh.
But I also want to talk about Roseanne specifically, and I had another bit there, but do you think that with this, for you, Joel, with all the great things that Roseanne did in the 90s, writing LGBTQ characters, talking about depression, talking about real serious things, talking about art, do you think that her decisions now diminish that work that she's done in the past?
Absolutely not.
I agree.
And here's my thing with this, because... this is dangerous too to talk about, because I don't know that Roseanne is racist. She could have, what she said could have been taken the wrong way. That's a difficult thing to say, because people go, well, no, if you're comparing whatever, or saying that someone looks like something, but people have said, I don't even know, but it doesn't diminish what she's done or take anything away. It's like, there was a reason that people were excited about it to come back. There was a reason that it had such a high 26 million viewers. That's a lot. And I don't think it's something that can just change that quickly.
Yeah.
Right.
And again, I don't want to get too political, because that's not what the show is about. But I do think that a lot of times things are misdiagnosed. Yeah. And, someone says that, makes a comment about what someone looks like, and it automatically becomes racist. And it's like, well, maybe it's about them being fat or ugly or old or young or tall or short. And it's because that person is a person of color, it's taken as a racist thing. Look, I'm not saying that that's okay either, but... Right. you gotta look at all sides of it before you call racism on someone, because that's a severe accusation, especially these days.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
So,
I would like to also say specifically on this topic, I would look into what was specifically said, specifically when she called this woman a part of the Muslim Brotherhood because she came from Iran, which is not a thing that would happen if you were from Iran because it's from a different country.
right.
So I do agree that in many cases that it is problematic because people label racism when context isn't known. But in this situation, it feels a little bit more like there are some racist undertones there.
Well, and when you get into the subject of ignorance, because that's the other label that's put on racists, right? If you're racist, that means you're ignorant about those races. And so how do you battle ignorance? With education.
Right.
So instead of just trashing the person, why don't you inform them how what they said was hurtful or offensive and
Move on.
move forward.
Right.
Yeah, somehow. I mean, obviously, I think there should be some sort of consequences, but it doesn't retroactively affect previous work.
Right.
Also.
Yeah, and I agree with that. But I mean, like with Roseanne, it was kind of coming. She's been saying a lot of weird shit on social media lately.
She's losing her shit right now.
Yeah.
Because she smokes a lot of weed. Not that smoking weed will make you crazy,
Peyton.
but she probably gets stoned or has a couple drinks and thinks she's being funny maybe, and it's just not. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think it's also problematic that we have social media. You know, when we were growing up, we could say a bunch of stupid shit, and it wasn't plastered all over the internet for people to see.
It goes away.
It goes away. So
And
now that doesn't happen.
And she's not the first celebrity to do this either.
No.
That has had a bad career.
Yeah, and even if it's a bad tweet, someone will have screenshotted it, and so
Yeah.
it doesn't go away. You're right.
Yeah, it's not going to go away. And I mean, like, that kind of goes into the whole Jeffrey Tambor thing about how people are not interested in watching the new season of Arrested Development, and understandable. I get that. But then on the other hand, like, does that withdraw the fact that the first 3 seasons of Arrested Development were very fantastic television?
Not at all.
Not at all. The Cosby Show. The
They're
Cosby
still
Show does amazing things to show like the nuclear black family, and which is something a lawyer and a doctor, right, as the parents,
Right.
which is crazy.
In that time, it was incredibly progressive.
Never before, or rarely before, had you seen successful, wealthy black Americans on television in such a common setting. Like, it just hadn't happened before. And Bill Cosby was the one who did that. And you know, it's like Dave Chappelle says, he saves, but he rapes.
That's Dave Chappelle is such a brilliant comedian. See, that right there. Dave Chappelle is a good sign of racism that can be funny.
Well, and here's the thing. It's hard to... I don't use the term racism very often because it's not racist. I don't think it's racist to impersonate another race. I think it's racial. If Dave Chappelle wants to put white makeup on his face and be a white person, I don't find that racist. I find him doing a character. And it goes...
What about
every
blackface?
Well, blackface is a form of entertainment.
And
but
historically, it was used in a very racist way.
It was used in a racist way.
Okay, so it's the context behind it.
But when Robert Downey Jr. wants to put on brown makeup and play a black person, I don't think that's racist.
No.
It's not blackface.
In that particular one,
being
because
a character.
He was being a character who actually got his skin repigmented. So
Right.
Yeah,
So-
and I mean, like, with that character specifically, too, you know, they were contextually understanding of that whole situation as well, and it wasn't a good situation, right? So, anyways,
let's keep going.
We fell down a rabbit hole here. What did you watch?
So I watched the first 8 episodes of the new season of Arrested Development. That's all that's been released so far. It's good. It's They lean very heavily into the situations that happened at the end of season 4, which is kind of interesting that they would, even though there was such a huge backlash of that season, they would still push forward with that, like those storylines, which people hated, but I liked. I thought the remix was pretty solid.
And Jeffrey Tambor's in it.
He's in it, yeah, and he plays the same character. He's in it a little bit less. I think they kind of re-edited it a little bit to remove him a bit from the story, but it's nice to see the actual family all together again. They have a lot of scenes together, which was missing in season 4.
Right, that was the main issue, the logistical issue that created that particular style. It's
a lot more serious too, which is very interesting. I feel like this is kind of like the finale and the goodbye, where, you know, I think it's a good evolution of these characters where they finally start saying goodbye to what's going on and everything like that. I don't know if I'm ready for it.
How long has it been since the last season?
4 years since the last season.
Okay, so not too terribly long.
Yeah.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, I think it was
season 4 was 4 years ago?
I think it was like 2014, 2015. It was something around there.
Sounds about right.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, it was the first, like one of the first. Well, reboot. It was the first reboot for sure. I think it's one of the first Netflix TV shows.
It was, well, I mean, it was after Orange is the New Black and the actual Netflix originals, and that's why they touted it
as a semi-original.
Semi-original, yeah. So I don't think it was the first of their originals, but it was the first time that they had picked up an already existing show and made it their own.
Okay.
Right. So, also, I also played through and beat Runner 3, which is the series of games that I thoroughly enjoy. It's this like endless runner game, kind of platforming, kind of like Mario, but you're consistently running forward, like an endless runner on your phone and stuff like that, right?
Okay.
Oh, like Temple Run.
Like Temple Run, but towards the side, like a Mario game, right?
Okay.
And it's all music-based, so you're doing things to like musical cues, and it's very beat-heavy and stuff like that. And the games have always been really, really fun and very difficult games, and I appreciate very difficult games when they aren't cheap, right? So that when you're playing through a game, you can see what's coming in front of you, so that if you make a mistake, that's your fault, not something that the game is like, haha, I tricked you. Surprise, now you have to start all over. And I think Runner 2 is probably one of my favorite games of all time. Because it's weird. It's voiced, like, it's narrated by Charles Martinet, who is the guy who does the voice of Mario and Luigi, right? But he's not like, hello, no, he's like, hello, I'm Charles Martinet. And it's like, welcome to this game. And it's like characters, like the Reverse Mermaid is in it, and a talking hamburger face man, farting hamburger face man. I'm sorry.
Is there a Reverse Mermaid woman legs and a fish body?
It's a dude. It's a dude
so
mermaid.
It's a Reverse Merman.
Yeah, no, sorry. It's a Reverse Merman.
Okay.
Merman.
And so it's a goldfish head and hairy man legs with a diaper, right? So that's a playable character.
Gotta check this game out.
It's on the PS3. The new game is only on the Switch, which is kind of interesting. I like it. It's nice to be able to play it on the go. But
I just like that he wears a diaper.
Yeah, no, it's so fun.
That's the only reason I want to buy this game.
But the other big problem that I have with it is it's all music based, right? So like everything is very well timed. Now there's a new aspect of the game where you're like flying in an airplane, right? And you can not be on the correct level, right? Because you didn't hit the button just hard enough.
Okay.
Which is so frustrating because every other version of this game, you just have to click the right buttons, not have to click the right buttons, the specific hardness. So it's like, it's not as exact as these previous games has been.
Is it the amount of pressure you put on the button or the amount of time you hold the button down?
It's not about the pressure. It's not about the size of the button. Yeah, no. I mean, it's like the pressure that you place or the amount that you hold it down can change like the direction of things. So you have to press it just exactly right to get to the right thing, and it doesn't make it feel like, specifically in these segments, it doesn't feel like the same game, and it's very frustrating. But the rest of the game was really fun. Very short for $30 game. I'm kind of upset about the purchase. I don't think, if you didn't like the series beforehand, I don't think that it's enjoyable. It's weird. It's such a weird game. In this game, Charles Martinet is a playable character. Just an old white dude hanging out with a pickle man.
And a reverse mermaid.
Yeah.
In a diaper.
Yeah, it's such a...
Pickle Man.
Oh, it's so good. But this game is rough. But, I mean, if you like the runner games, you'll like it.
We did get a question from a guy named Pembroke. Hi, Pembroke.
Hi, Pembroke.
Let's see what it says here. I've been dating my significant other for the better part of 2 years.
Okay.
Last night, I decided to put on some Beastie Boys while cleaning up the house, and my girlfriend said that she hates the Beastie Boys and asked me to turn them off and not play them in the house anymore. Mm-hmm. Is there a way for us to salvage our relationship? How should I break up with her?
So it sounds like Pembroke has given up on the relationship with that second question.
I'm hoping that was a sarcastic question. But
okay.
Listen, this is a very difficult situation because, let me start with this. The Beastie Boys couldn't be that important to you music-wise if you haven't played them in the house in 2 years. So, or
the significant other, the girlfriend in the scenario, is very passive aggressive and she hasn't mentioned
and hasn't said anything. That's true.
Or it's just a dating mask. I mean, honestly, like people put up a front for some time. Mm-hmm. And it could have been a 2-year period of like, I don't think I'm ready to share my obsession with the Beastie Boys with my significant other.
I've been in relationships where, whoever I'm dating doesn't like monster movies, hates monster movies. So what do? Not watch monster movies with them.
Right.
I can still watch them alone.
Okay.
And every once in a while, we might try one and just see what happens. It usually is not great, though, right?
Yeah.
And so, I've dated people that like don't like, or that like a kind of music that I don't like too. Same like this. I don't really like current modern country. I call it pop country. Mm-hmm. I really don't like it. That's
I don't like.
I don't like a pop country. Thank you. That almost slipped by. So you do what you got to do.
Absolutely. And my opinion, the second you're dating someone who has all the exact same interests as you and loves, you're just dating yourself.
Boring.
I know.
Right?
I can't stand myself, so I wouldn't want to date myself. That would be ridiculous. And yeah, my significant other, I only recently, like in the past week, came to find out that she does not like something that I love. I was like, huh.
You want to tell us what it is?
It's the show Community.
Oh, okay.
She's like, yeah, I do not like that show. I'm like, oh. But I watched all seasons of it for you. That's really kind. You didn't have to do that. And now I know.
Have we decided if she listens to this podcast or not?
I'm going to guess that she doesn't. My significant other doesn't listen to it.
Well, there you go.
Here's the thing, Pembroke. You're gonna have to break up with her. It's not gonna work out, man. Dude. I mean, first off, Beastie Boys, their motto is you gotta fight for your right to party. Man, you've gotta fight for your right to party here in this situation. If you're not fighting for your right to party, you ain't with the Beastie Boys.
And check it out. If they stay together and get married, what if he wants Beastie Boys at the reception?
Okay, that's a problem. That requires some
it's going to cause a fight. They might break up. She's going to cry in a dress. That's a horrible situation.
You can't play it on the reception. You have to play it during the honeymoon.
Oh, I thought you were going to say during the ceremony.
Like you have to have like a honeymoon playlist because the Beastie Boys are always on vacation. It's another lyric of theirs. That I quoted just now.
I've been trying to figure out if you're like just trying to play devil's advocate here because honestly I feel that's terrible relationship advice.
Do you know where their honeymoon is going to be?
Something that's in a Beastie Boys lyric, I imagine.
Yeah,
they're gonna go on a road trip, right?
Okay.
It's gonna be about what, like a 20 22, 24. No, it's a bit longer of a drive. It's about like 2-day drive from here, right? 2-day drive to Brooklyn, right? And you'll be getting no sleep till Brooklyn, which is another Beastie Boys lyric. You're right, Michael. In fact, you were right there.
I know.
But yeah, Pembroke, I'm so sorry, man. It's not gonna work out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Currently, the vote is 2-1 to stay with her or him.
I didn't.
And
Did I vote?
Did you vote?
Did I vote?
I didn't.
Well, I guess we didn't vote officially. I
can't remember what I said though.
You painted the example of horror movies, and how that wasn't a deal breaker for you.
But it's the Beastie Boys, man. Come on.
Now here's a little story. Okay, so here's what I say. This is my legit serious advice. Play it at a time when you know she's on her way home, and when she comes in, see if she says to turn it off or down, or if she lets it keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's a sign of devotion.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
however long she's willing to put up with it.
Like, hey, I was listening to that kind of thing.
I think real talk here, right? There's a thing called Bluetooth headphones, right? You can listen to music around other people with them on.
Yeah, but you got to blast the Beastie Boys, bro.
You can blast them in your own ears. You don't have to blast them to other people's.
And then when you dance around, people are just going, that guy is jamming out.
To the Beastie Boys. Because they know, because you are doing the Beastie Boys dance. Which, Michael, do you know the Beastie Boys dance?
Nope.
That's very unfortunate.
No. I'll show you later.
All right. Yeah. We should just show the podcast listeners.
It's kind of like this.
Okay, yeah, I get it. I see it now.
That is, in fact, the Beastie Boys dance.
Oh, snap.
All right.
Booyah.
Now we're going to 6 degrees because I'm actually looking at the schedule right. And before we do, guys, I've got something random for you.
Okay.
And I switched it up like at the beginning of this podcast to what we're going to be talking about.
All right.
This Something Random is brought to you by Nintendo announcing that Pokemon is coming out for the Switch by the end of the year. A new Pokemon game.
A new Pokemon game?
Yeah. Yeah, but
for
it's
the Switch.
Yeah. So you're gonna get your Pokemons, and it's called
Pokemans.
You're gonna get your Pocket Monsters. And the game is called Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. It's based off of Pokemon Yellow. It's a remake of the classic Pokemon Yellow game
in full resolution. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you get the classic 151 Pokemons.
It is the 151 original and no more.
I'm sure you will probably be able to download your Celebi, your Entei, your
what about the one that's
Ho-Ohs.
What about the one that's an ice cream cone?
I think its name is Ice Cream Cone. I think it's.
There's also a Pokemon that's a set of keys. Is that going to be in there?
Yeah, it's going to be. That's the.
Wow. It evolves into a Toyota Corolla. I saw.
It's a good joke.
It was a great joke when I saw it. It wasn't mine.
So it's a 2-game set, right? So you got Pikachu. Who do you think the other Pokemon is?
Togepi.
No, because that's not the 151.
Let me see if I can name another Pokemon. Charmander.
Char. It's not Charmander. It's Eevee. You get to choose between Pikachu and Eevee.
And that's pretty much how Classic Yellow goes. Do you mean at the very beginning you choose between Pikachu and Eevee?
In the game, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's the two different styles of games.
Gotcha. Because in Yellow, you can actually get 3 Eevees, if I'm not mistaken, in the original Yellow game.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can get all the evolutions.
What does Eevee look like?
It looks like a little dog.
A little dog.
Yeah, with a fluffy tail.
And like kind of a human face. It's weird.
And like a muff around.
It's got some
dog
serious.
with a human face and a muff?
Not a human face. He's making that up.
No, it has kind of like an anime human face, honestly.
Well, I mean, but all of the Pokemon do, if you want to get tactical. Anyways, no, it looks like a little doggy, and then you give it certain stones, and it evolves into different types from there.
Of cats. So it looks like a dog, right? It looks like a cute Chihuahua little shit, and it evolves into cat creatures.
I got it. I picked
Excellent. Let's get the 6 degrees going.
All right. Drawers this week are myself and Charles. Who would you like? Dead people, comedy, or drama?
Let's do comedy still. Let's do and you know what? Let's mix it up. Let's go dead people.
You're gonna go dead people. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you mind
I
passing
see
that
it.
over?
I see it. I see the dead people.
Should I do comedy?
Oh,
or
I get
drama?
it. Because like that one movie.
Don't read it yet.
Ooh.
Don't read it yet.
Sorry, too late. Michael, can you explain the
No,
rules?
I mean don't read it out loud.
All right. So, folks, for those of you just joining us, we play 6 degrees. Pretty simple. You just have to know the name of the actor, know the name of the movie. We're actually playing it as a team now. And so we are going to put 5 minutes on the clock and try to come up with a connection between these two actors that you're going to learn now.
All right. So, well, first off, Michael, can you get on your phone and do a 5-minute clock? So that.
Yes.
And Joel, do you want to read yours first? Or do you want me to read mine?
You go ahead.
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman.
To Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly. All right.
So, in case you don't know, this is Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly from.
Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now we're back because you didn't have that pulled up on your soundboard. I don't know. Let's figure that out really quick. So
Count how many that was. Yeah.
So you got Jennifer Connelly was in Requiem for a Dream with Jared Leto. Jared Leto was in Blade Runner, the new one with
Harrison
Ford. So
Indiana Jones 4.
Indiana Jones 4 with Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf was in Holes
with Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver was in Ghostbusters. No. Sorry.
We were going Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy
with
Quest.
Alan Rickman.
That's where we wanted to
5
go with that.
steps.
Cool.
In a minute and a half.
Potter.
Yeah.
That's my Alan Rickman impression. I don't say anything else.
Oh, Potter.
Potter. Does he even say that in any of the movies?
I don't know.
That reminds me of the really, it's an Anisan video, and it's an animated one, where it's the Alohomora one, where Hermione kind of sounds like Alan Rickman. She's like, oh, Ron. And they're like, they're Alohomoraing her skirt. It's so dumb.
That sounds dumb.
It's so dumb.
Stop it, Ron. Oh. Who also, like, I am. I'll show you.
Alrighty then.
I'm going to pull it up.
Cool. So we're gonna read a scene.
All right.
In celebration, I guess. We're not doing punishment scenes anymore since we're working as a team.
So it's going to be me and Charles today. It's a 2-person scene. Would you like easy, hard, or medium?
Let's do a medium today.
Ooh, he's stepping up his game.
Okay. Would you pass that over, please? I'm picking hard because I always pick hard. Yeah. All right. All right. Yes, I've been waiting for this.
I believe Joel is a little excited.
I'm honestly.
How are your ears there, Peyton?
Sorry about that. I couldn't contain my excitement. Do you know who your person is?
Yeah, I would hope so.
Oh, okay.
Pull this over here.
So now it's on me to guess who you are impersonating. Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Now, who's being who?
I have to find.
So we're doing a scene from Reservoir Dogs between Mr. Pink and Mr. White.
I'll do Mr. Pink.
You'll be Mr. Pink? Mm-hmm. Okay. Go ahead.
All right.
start.
We're starting. Okay. Is he dead? So is he dead or what?
He ain't dead.
So which is it?
I think he just passed out.
That's perfect. He scared the fucking shit out of me. I thought he was dead for sure.
He will be dead for sure if we don't get him to a hospital.
We can't get him to a hospital!
Without medical attention, this man won't live through the night. That bullet in his belly is my fault. Now, while that might not mean jack shit to you, see, it means a hell of a lot to me. And I'm not just gonna sit around and watch him die.
Well, first things first. Staying here's goofy. We gotta book up.
So, what do you suggest we go to a hotel? We got a guy who's shot in the belly, he can't walk, he bleeds like a stuck pig, and when he's awake, he screams in pain.
You got an idea. Spit it out. That's a terrible. Okay, we're good. Keep going.
Joe could help him. If we can get in touch with Joe, Joe could get him to a doctor. Joe could get a doctor to come see him.
I think I don't want to read this monologue because it's not gonna happen.
I think we're just gonna cut it off there.
All
That
right.
sounds good.
So like mine's
I want to say Mark Wahlberg.
no.
Okay.
It's not. It's hard to do this person as my vocal timbre, but
Any ideas, Joel?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Then tell us.
mine was Oprah. I'm sorry.
Oprah.
Okay, that's where that yelling part came in.
I was trying to do her talking where she talks about bread, but
But I was hearing that breath in it, and I was like, "Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
I'm Mark Wahlberg.
yeah.
Let's talk to some animals."
Say hi to your mother for me.
I'm gonna have to play that back and listen to Oprah. Okay. Now that I know it's Oprah, I
Right.
can't wait.
Oh man, I'm pretty sure Samuel L. Jackson, right?
You got it.
I was thinking you got Bobcat Goldthwait again this week for some reason.
right? No, definitely Bill Cosby.
I think he's
Because-
just passed out. What a line for Bill to say.
Oh no, went there.
Well, that was fun.
I was.
I've been waiting to get that one.
Clearly you were very thrilled.
Gentlemen, I have a
Yes.
game for you.
Oh,
You have a game for us? A new game?
I do. It's new.
What are we playing?
We're not even rehashing an old game.
We got a new game.
So I've come up with a new game that I want to play with you guys. I am calling it Celebrity Edibles, which is super fun to say.
Celebrables.
So the whole premise is I have given you guys a list of 10 names. I don't think we
Oh.
should go through the list here.
Let me pull it up
but
here.
I am going to go down this list. I'm going to give you kind of like easy to hard, right? Items that people would potentially make. Now, these are not just celebrity endorsed. These are items that these people have been involved with personally. They have a stake in the company.
Okay.
Cool?
All right. Sounds like a plan.
And you're going to give us the product and we have to guess the celebrity that goes
Yes.
corresponds.
So are we talking something like Shaq Soda?
No. Yeah, well, yes. That would be a very good one. If I said, well, I couldn't say Shaq
But that
Soda.
would give away the fact that it's Shaq.
Right.
So
I have to say blank soda. Some of these have the person's name in the title. I am not reading the name.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That's good to know.
Yeah. So specifically, it's not like Leroy Jenkins, Leroy Cream, or something like that. It's not going to be
Carl
anything like
Pfeiffer
that.
of Carl Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Did anybody ever try Shaq Soda, by the way?
It's so
Yeah.
good.
It was delicious,
Oh,
actually.
it is?
It's real good. I like the orange one. My favorite is the strawberry one's good too. Grape soda though. Psh. For a long time, the
Forget
Shaq
about
soda,
it.
all the different flavors of Shaq soda was my profile photo on Facebook.
It sure was. He had all the colors of the rainbow.
All right, so we're gonna start easy.
Let's do this. I have to ask. There's one person on here I don't know who it is.
Who's that name?
David Cross. I probably know
David
who-
Cross, you didn't watch any Arrested Development?
No.
He's a comedian. He's the one with the
The
mustache.
bald guy with glasses
Yep. Tobias.
Tobias Finke.
from Mr.
Also-
Show. And...
Yeah. Mr.
Okay.
Show.
Did
that's
you
what I
watch
thought it was.
Kimmy Schmidt?
No, I know who
Okay.
it is.
Okay.
I know who it is.
So the first one on this list is a brand of tea.
Mm-hmm.
This brand is called 2 If by Tea. 2 If by Tea, rated one of the worst bottled teas. This American-made celebrity-endorsed product went out of business in only a couple years. Once again, that is 2 If by Tea.
2 If by Tea. So, question. Do we each guess and then we get points?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say like the points don't matter here, but yes.
Okay.
Why don't we say who we think it is and then explain it after both people have revealed their names?
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
You want to go first?
I would. I'm going to say Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep is okay.
Okay. I was going to say that too, but I'm going to change because I think it's almost too obvious. She's the biggest tea drinker on the list, or stereotypical tea drinker. She's an older lady.
I'm just picturing her with a tea bag, letting the tea streep.
2 If by Tea. I'm going to go with... I'm gonna go with Madonna.
You're going to go with Madonna.
Yeah.
Both of you are incorrect.
I figured.
Shoot.
That is Rush Limbaugh's "To If by Tea," the American tea.
Oh yeah, Rush Limbaugh's
The
on
American
that list.
tea.
Okay.
The American tea. All right, number 2.
Now wait a minute.
Okay.
Let me stop you. Should you reveal the answers at the end? That way we can continue to guess those people.
No, I'm just going to go through
wanna
each
just go
individual
through
one.
them? Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So next one here. This one is called fruit flirtations. All right, fruit flirtations.
Can't even say it.
It's Jesus, a sexy, flirty, fat-free gummy candy. However, if you looked at the container, you'd realize they switch out all the fat with sugar, so not really as healthy as it would seem.
That sounds very much to me like a Sarah Michelle Gellar product.
Okay.
Flirtations. Can you read the first line of that description
A
again?
sexy, flirty, fat-free gummy candy.
Okay, I just wanted to hear you say that again. Who'd you say?
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah.
Golly. I'm going to go with Madonna again.
You're going to go with Madonna again.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, once again, you were both wrong. That is Heidi Klum's Fruit Flirtations.
Heidi Klum.
Heidi Klum. All right, number 3. High protein pudding. High protein pudding coming in with fun flavors such as lemon cream, vanilla cream, and gun. This pudding boasts 20 grams of protein, 1 single carb, and 0 sugar in every serving. High protein pudding.
I'm going to say Sylvester Stallone. That was terrible. I was trying to do a Sylvester Stallone impression.
saying Sylvester Stallone because I know it's true because I've had it.
Yeah?
It's good.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Are you serious? Did I actually guess that correctly?
You guys both got that.
Yeah, he talked
correct.
about he talked about it on the Stern Show, and I went and found it, and I tried it, and I was like, this isn't very good, like at first, like when you were eating something gluten-free, but then you keep eating it, and it gets better, so.
Okay. All right, so... Wow.
Good guess, Next up.
All right, this next one is called Food Stirs. Food Stirs Organic Brownie and Cake Mix. Food Stirs is an American cooking and lifestyle company that produces baking kits and mixes for sales online, by subscription or in select stores. The kits contain only organic is the word that I was trying to freaking say, and non-GMO ingredients, and are intended to be kid-friendly to prepare.
That sounds like a wonderful way to spice up your life.
You think it's the Spice Girls?
I think it's the Spice Girls.
All right.
What's it called again? Food Stirs?
Food Stirs.
S-T-I-R-S?
S-T-I-R-S.
Okay.
Food Stirs. All in one word. It's one word. Food Stirs.
Food Stirs. Okay, got it. Jeepers creepers. I'm going to go with Madonna. I like her. I don't know.
All right. Gentlemen,
Yes.
you're both wrong. It is, in fact, Sarah Michelle Gellar's Food Stirs.
I almost said that. Okay.
Final one.
Food Stirs.
All right.
Okay,
All right.
ready for you.
Chupa Chups. A strawberry lollipop. Once again, that is Chupa Chups. With a fun strawberry flavor, these lollipops come in 24 collectible stickers.
Stickers.
So there's a
They come with stickers.
on the inside of the lollipop. Chupa
Gross.
Chups. Chupa Chups, gentlemen.
David Cross.
You're going to go with David Cross's Chupa Chups.
Yeah.
All right. Strawberry, David Cross's Strawberry Chupa Chups.
I almost said Kevin Kline, but I'm going to go with the Spice Girls.
Oh,
Yes.
Joel is right. The Spice Girls is Chupa Chups.
I jumped the gun on the Spice Girls there.
That is a fun remembrance of the 90s.
It's child directed. So
Yeah.
I kind of.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, and the winner of this game is everybody, because these people are making great American goods. Or not really, because some of them are not American. But that's okay.
Protein pudding, is good for you. All right. That was good. That was fun.
That was awesome.
Thank you very much, guys like that game.
Now, tell me again, these are all endorsed, or they're all
They have a stake in the...
something.
Sarah Michelle Gellar is sitting over the bake mix every day like a witch, just going in a big cauldron of non-GMO baking.
I can still
stuff.
picture her doing that.
I know, it would make sense.
Yeah.
Especially that like high-pitched like the cackle,
Yes,
as we call
absolutely.
it in the biz.
Very, very fun game. Let's keep that going. So we've got a question from Salvador.
Salvador. Okay.
Salvador, yep. And the question is, I have a great idea for a podcast.
Is that his name or is that his like handle?
I think it's like a pseudonym, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a great idea for a podcast, but no idea how to start it. What do I need to learn to be able to turn my idea into a reality?
Well,
Can we call you Sal? Let's call him Sal.
I'm going to call him Vader. All right, Vader.
That's actually better.
So, my answer to this question is have two friends that want to do a podcast and they ask you to come do a podcast.
Yep. I mean, you're not wrong.
That's real life experience right there. Speaking.
Yeah.
I would say from my perspective here, make sure you're starting as basic as possible. I think that overcomplicating it is a bad idea. So start off with, get a decent microphone and just a recording device. And what is the name of the? There's a free hosting site.
It's called Anchor.
Anchor. There's a site called Anchor where you can host a podcast at no charge. It doesn't offer all the analytics and things that other
It does
services
offer all of that.
All of that, every single thing. So why are we paying for it?
Can you spell it? How do they spell it? They spell it funny.
ANCHOR.
Oh, it's not spelled
So
funny.
what is
Dot FM.
I thought
what
it was
is
spelled funny.
What is the drawback then to Anchor versus a paid thing?
Nothing.
All right then.
There's when it comes to Anchor, they do offer it's harder to view a lot of the stats on mobile and on computer. You have to watch, like, for some reason they put some of the stats on one, some of the stats on the other, which is kind of problematic. I know I'm not a big fan of that, but I mean, I have two podcasts on Anchor and it works fine. It's great. I think it's awesome. I think Anchor. Okay, so first off, before I go into my serious answer, I need to ask you guys: do you want my serious answer,
yes,
or do you want my goofy as fuck answer?
Can you do a
Both,
combination?
Can I do my serious answer in a goofy voice? Is
Yes.
that what you guys want?
And
Yeah.
then do the goofy answer in a serious voice.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Right. So when you're making a podcast, okay. So what you really, really want to make sure of is that you don't overwhelm yourself. And what I mean by that is just make sure that you take your time. If you don't think that you can do weekly episodes, don't do weekly episodes. Do like 7 episodes and then start releasing episodes. Get yourself in a good space. Figure out if you like it. Give yourself 10 episodes. Don't do it for anybody but yourself.
Thank you.
All right.
That's
Thank
good.
you, person.
All right. Now,
I don't know. I can't ever figure out his impressions. So
that was just a Charles Joseph original.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, goofy answer.
Yeah.
With a serious voice. All right. So, what you need to do is, I have a phone number for a guy. His name is Leonard. Right. Leonard is the host of podcasts. You need to call Leonard. His number is 970-555-5115. Leonard knows podcasts.
Good. I know him.
He's a good guy. He is a good guy.
It really is. Like, just easy to grab a beer with, you know?
Yeah, but also kind of problematic.
Racist.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
What?
You have to
But
deal-
he's listening, so.
Oh, Leonard.
He's listening in right now.
Did he?
Because he hears all podcasts.
Did he tweet or something? Did he tweet something? That's not.
Tweeter.
So here's what you do. You go to Leonard, you ask him, "Hey Leonard, I want to start a podcast." And you say, and Leonard says, "No." He's going to say no 2 or 3 times. This is kind of like the scene in Fight Club where you're supposed to stand outside the outside of the house for like a couple days, and then they kind of let you in eventually into the podcast club.
Oh, Leonard.
We're all in the podcast club. You'll come join us. We'll hang out. There's a specific attire that you have to wear, unfortunately.
But we can't reveal that on here.
We can't talk about what we're wearing.
Nothing.
Michael, you're not supposed to
I'm sorry.
say.
No, I'm wearing a ski cap. So
Oh, okay.
It counts as
Yeah,
something.
I mean, like, accessories is fine.
Yeah.
Accessories. I'm just a tie clip. Not a tie.
What
just
is
a tie
the
clip.
clipped onto?
You know, you could see.
chest hair.
So once you're in the house, right, you'll learn all the secrets of podcasting. You'll meet Steve Jobs. He's not dead. You think that he's dead. And he will upload your podcast directly to iTunes.
Well, Steve Jobs made himself immortal through a computer. Like, he uploaded his consciousness into a computer. He was the first human to do that. So,
Okay, I do need to make one Arrested Development joke. Because they
Okay.
make Steve Jobs jokes.
Okay.
But they say Steve Jobs all the time.
Steve Jobs.
And they're like,
just because of how Job pronounces his name. That's funny.
That's great.
And everyone calls him Gob, who doesn't know him. That said, that was, the goofy answer, as you may recall.
Yes.
It wasn't? I thought that was a serious answer.
But talk to more podcasters. Like, honestly, find out what works and what doesn't work and say, hey, here's my idea. Do you think it's good? And, it's...
I don't. I think that's yes, but everybody's going to have their own opinions on everything.
Absolutely. So take it with a grain of salt.
You
but
can find out good things and bad things. There's forums with lots of podcasters.
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, I think have as many conversations as you can, glean all that information, and then you can decide which things are worth listening to.
Also, one other thing, the reason why these podcasts work as well as they do is organization. We are pretty well organized. I would say we could be better, but that's the name of the game. You can always be better at something, but making sure that you know what you're going to talk about before you talk about anything, even if it's like comedy improv, kind of like what we do, we know where we're going to go with conversations for the most part.
What's going on? What? That was my improv joke.
That was really good.
Hold on.
That was my improv joke implying that I had no idea what was happening.
Wait, hold on.
Get it?
If we're going to improv this, yes, and I don't know what we're doing either. That's my yes and.
Oh, cool.
Michael, what's your yes and?
Where are we?
I don't know. Peyton, what's your yes and?
Who are we?
Oh, that just got deep, y'all.
All right.
Also have
lost logo.
Get underage children to record your podcast for you is usually like
Like a
the
couple of-
number one tip that I have for people.
Okay.
I'm not going to say under what age.
It's not like a bunch of 4-year-olds running around with microphones going, here, talk into this.
No, not 4-year-olds. They're 5.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right. Okay. All right.
So Vader, does that answer your question?
I hope so. Thank you, Sal.
We talked a lot.
We're going to move on. We have another trailer talk for you this week. Now, I saw this trailer and I was excited about it.
Oh, we're not doing a theme song?
Trailer talk.
We talk about trailers.
I saw this trailer and I was excited. Thank you. I was excited about it. I think it looks really good. I've heard mixed reviews from people, not just you.
Okay.
So, but we did watch Bohemian Rhapsody, the trailer for Bohemian Rhapsody, which is the movie about Queen and Freddie Mercury. And I think it looks really cool. I'm excited to see it. I think the guy they cast seems to be a decent performer. I don't think he's singing because you can
tell that
you can tell it's Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It'd be really cool if he had like a really good Freddie Mercury impression. But I think that they're just pulling from like actual
which is fine because
recordings. Why would you want to do anything else?
Well, and also Freddie Mercury's, it's Rolling Stone named him the greatest voice of all time.
Yeah.
So like, hello,
You can't
just do
reproduce that.
Yeah.
It was like, did you watch that movie Miracle about the U.S. hockey team in the Olympics?
No, but I know what you're talking about.
No, but I have watched The Mighty Ducks, so I kind of...
So you kind of know what I'm talking about. That's
Quack,
good.
quack.
Quack, quack, quack. And pretend that you got your eye hurt. I don't know. Anyways, no. At the end, the announcer just, of course, ad-libbed this line. It was such a moment of passion and excitement, and he said, "Do you believe in miracles?" That's where the title came from, right before they made the winning shot that got United States the gold.
Okay.
They tried recording an actor doing the announcer voice, and at the end of the day, they settled on just trying to remaster the original audio because there's no way that an actor could capture that same passion.
Okay. All right.
So that's kind of where I feel like that's coming from, and I agree.
Okay. What now? Okay, so now what's
What's my beef?
what's your feelings with
I feel like it's edited like the very fantastic movie, as we all remember, Suicide Squad. I think that it's edited very musically and has like that feel to it, but I feel that this movie, the trailer will be better than the movie. Also, the fact that they're removing a lot of the negative aspects of Freddie Mercury. Not negative, but they're removing a lot of like other aspects of his life. He is a very big bisexual man, right? And they're not going to be talking about any of his gay relationships, from my understanding, from what I've seen online. Also, the fact that they're going to not talk about the whole AIDS thing is very...
It's confirmed that they're not talking about any of that stuff?
Yeah, they've had conversations, like there's multiple articles online where it's saying like, hey, we're not having the AIDS conversation, we're not having the bisexual conversation. Cool.
It's about the music.
Yeah, I mean...
I have a hard time believing that. I feel like that might be rumors. I can't, none of us really know because none of us have seen the movie, but that was such a huge staple for Queen and Freddie Mercury.
I know,
I
and
don't think it can be avoided.
I would hope so.
And I wouldn't understand why they would want to avoid it.
But here's the other thing that I wanted to talk about with that. I feel like I'm very... I hope the movie's still really good. Kind of like how I really like Greatest Showman, but, like... Barnum and Bailey were like terrible human beings.
Ray. I love Ray. The guy had like 47 kids.
Same with The Theory of Everything, the story of Stephen Hawking. Mm-hmm. They glossed over a lot of the negative moments.
Well, yeah, and I mean, if you're making a tribute movie, you don't want to necessarily do that. But I don't know.
I'm very standoffish on this movie. I hope it's good, but
I would be interested to hear what your sources are as far as saying they're not going to have those conversations, because who knows, really. But I am on the fence. I mean, I might or might not watch it in theaters, depending. But
we have Movie Pass. We should probably. You still do? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you canceled it.
No, because
the 9 months
weren't going to give me any money back, so I decided to keep get as much out of it as I could. Anyways, it's been a while since we've had one of these behind the band type stories.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think bottom line is, I would say a large majority of people enjoy Queen music, and there's going to be great music in the movie. They're going to show a lot of how it may have been recorded, because all those hundreds of vocal tracks, that was a new thing. He kind of invented that,
right?
And so I'm interested to see how that's going to work,
right?
Yeah.
And I'm all about the gritty and real type media, but there are some times where I'm fine to just be entertained. Yeah,
I'm kind of with you on that too. That's kind of how I felt that's kind of how I feel about a lot of these movies that come out and they take things out like, well, I wouldn't say they actually glamorized Ray because they made him a drug addict. Well, they didn't make him a drug addict. They showed that they portrayed him.
Jamie Foxx actually was doing heroin on set.
But there were negative aspects of his life that they took out. But that wasn't the focus of the movie. It was about his music and what he did for music and things like that. So maybe they're kind of doing the same thing with Freddie Mercury. You never know. Maybe they don't want it. It's not that they don't want to mention that the AIDS lifestyle and all that, but maybe it's just not the focus. Who knows? I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy at least some of the movie.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch a movie with lots of music and lots of AIDS, then there's Rent.
Right. Rent. Good old Rent.
Yeah. So the main guy who plays Freddie Mercury is Rami Malek, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I just learned he's a twin.
Okay.
He has a twin brother.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? Twin?
Identical twin brother.
Okay.
What is his brother's name?
Wait, what's the guy's name?
Rami.
Mary-Kate.
R-A-M-I. Rami.
I think Mary-Kate is his twin's name.
Rami and Jamie.
You're on the right track.
Oh.
Kind of.
Stymie?
Stymie.
That's a good one.
Sue.
No.
Clyde.
Rami and Sammy. R-A-M-I and S-A-M-I.
Oh, so different pronunciation, but almost the same spelling.
Or maybe it's just Rami and Sammy. I don't know if I would name my kid Rami.
Rami.
Now, has this guy been in other stuff? I didn't recognize him, but I don't know.
Yeah, he was in Mr. Robot, which is such a good show. I highly recommend it.
I don't know Mr. Robot.
It's Christian Slater's in it.
Christian, now you're telling me you're a vampire. What drink blood or something? I don't get it, man. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that Christian Slater. He plays his dad, who is a robot. Not really. I'm gonna come up.
You told me about this, and I never watched it. Yes.
We've talked about it on the podcast before. Very good, very interesting, very mindfuckery, like almost on an episode-to-episode basis.
Okay.
But also it all makes sense.
Okay.
Like, it was originally planned as like a movie, right? A 3-hour movie. And he stretched this series out into like 5 seasons, and it really works.
Okay.
Yeah. It's real cool.
Mr. Robot.
Yeah,
Mr. Robot.
I, the Mr. Robot.
Not iRobot, Mr. Robot.
I, the Mr. Robot Chicken.
iRobot is the Will Smith movie, right?
So I've done that before. I love that joke. I came up with a band name, going back to band names, where I said Nicolas Cage the Elephant Man, which is you got Nicolas Cage, you got Cage the Elephant, and Elephant Man. Nicolas Cage the Elephant Man.
That's
It's a great band name.
trifecta.
Nicolas Cage, the Elephant Man of La Mancha.
Oh!
Right? Okay.
I'm going to post that right now.
Okay, good.
Nicolas Cage, the Elephant Man of La Mancha, is going to be my new...
That's superb.
I think we should add a segment to the show where we come up with those on the spot.
That would be kind of amazing. Let's try that.
Like we pull something out of a hat and have to do it or something.
We just did that.
Anyway.
Hi, Mr. Robot Chicken.
All right. Now it's now on Facebook. Nicolas Cage, the Elephant Man of La Mancha.
Fantastic. Well, yes. So we have another How It Shan't Have Ended.
How It Shan't.
We are getting fancy and saying, how shan't it have ended?
Right.
Oh. So we decided I'm going to, because we were talking about Star Wars earlier, and I want to hear alternate endings from you guys from different Star Wars movies.
Okay.
So, Charles, I'd like to hear an alternate ending for A New Hope from you.
A New Hope. Ending of
I've got one for A New Hope, Force Awakens.
He's got a new Hope. He's got an Old Hope, which is Phantom of the Opera. Is that the answer?
Joel, Return of the Jedi for you, my friend.
Okay. Who wants to start?
Michael.
I'll go ahead and start. Yeah. So I think that Han Solo in Force Awakens,
in New Hope,
he gets down there and should we do I guess we have to do spoilers if we're doing alternate endings, right?
Well,
If you haven't seen Force Awakens, though, by this point.
well, are you changing something that happened? What do you?
Okay, I'll just gloss over that. Let's just say that Han and Chewie get to the absolute center of the battle station, the Star Killer. Is that what it's called?
Star Killer Base, which
Star Killer Base, like Death Star.
Can I say the fun fact on this? Star Killer was actually Luke's original name in the original script for Star Wars.
Killer?
His name's Luke Star Killer.
Huh. How interesting. All right.
Oh, okay.
So that has nothing to do with my alternate ending.
Anyway,
but,
go ahead.
So Han and Chewie, they blow up Starkiller Base, but they actually find a way to implode it. It collapses in on itself and creates a black hole, i.e. a time machine. They fly the Millennium Falcon through the black hole and reverse everything that happened all the way back to the prequels. They find
Jar Jar.
Yeah, they kill Jar Jar off immediately, and then they go back over to Tatooine, and they're like, okay, this Anakin guy, not happening, sorry. Okay. And then there's like an alternate version of Luke, whose mom is still Padme, but dad is Lando.
Okay, that's quite a twist.
I don't know what the age difference would be there.
Well,
we could work it out.
You got time travel, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. They take Lando back with them because there was no reference to Lando in Force Awakens. Like, whatever happened to him? So they pick up Lando, go to Starkiller Base, make a black hole, fly back, and he ends up having a half-black pair of twins, Luke and Leia.
Okay.
I thought you said bear twins, and I was like,
no,
is he like having sex with Chewie? The bear twins. Right, these are my bear twins.
There's my bad alternate ending for that.
That's all right. Do you want to go? You want me to go? Mine is not very elaborate, so I'll do mine really quick.
Mine's not elaborate either. It's just one joke.
As far as Return of the Jedi, I think. Now, I did have some help with this because Seth and I were talking about it last night. Seth, friend of the pod, we're talking about Return of the Jedi, and I think it would be an interesting twist and change definitely a lot of things if Luke and Vader teamed up and became two sides of the Force, or two sides of the dark side. And Luke was the light side of the dark side, and Vader was you know what I mean.
They're on the dark spectrum.
They're on the same side, and Luke becomes evil, which would change a lot.
Yeah,
it would bring a disturbance in the balance of the Force, as what we say in the Star Wars universe.
And also,
who would step up as the light? Because there always has to be Chewie,
like just Chewie. Well, but also,
I don't think that's how that works.
Well, I mean, Count Dooku, freaking, no, not Dooku. Yeah, he trained General Grievous how to use lightsabers, quote unquote, and he does like the 4 lightsaber shtick, even though he has no connection with the Force whatsoever because he's mostly robot.
Dooku. I also think that Luke, to be more evil, gets rid of the robot hand and now has a hook. Because, villains have to have a hook.
He's going to be a space pirate.
They don't have to have a hook, but...
So, okay.
Nobody can have a hook but a villain.
I have some questions here. Is it like villainous hook, or is it like Buster, where he starts like running it into things in Arrested Development, where he's just like, I'm a monster? Because that makes much more sense with his personality.
It does.
And you can just hear him doing the, no, I'm a monster.
Yeah.
I would like to see a straightforward evil hook, and not have him bump into things and get his head stuck in the sliding door.
And so Darth Vader's still alive, right?
Darth Vader's still alive.
So what if he like made the hook out of one of the bones from Palpatine?
Wait, I got it. It's a lightsaber hook.
So just curves.
It's a glowing laser hook.
So it's a light hook.
That's something.
That is something.
Okay, that's all I got. I got nothing else.
All right.
Let's
So,
hear yours.
So I spent a lot of time thinking about this. A lot of time. Like,
All
honestly, like more time than I should have, right?
Okay.
For this one dumb joke. And you guys almost ruined it when you were talking earlier. Now, here's the thought, right? First off, George Lucas loves his remasters.
Right.
He loves adding characters into things where they shouldn't have been entered. And he fucking loves Jar Jar Binks. Now, hear me out.
Oh, no.
He replaces Chewbacca with Jar Jar Binks.
Shut your face.
So it's Misa Yusa, but he doesn't say Jar Jar Binks, right? He still says Chewbacca because they've unfortunately with the entirety of the previous films have been like already filmed, so they can't like dub over somebody going Chewbacca and then just say Jar Jar Binks. They have to name him Chewbacca. Yeah. So it's his becoming Chewbacca. He's like, Misa Yusa Chewbacca, sir.
Okay.
And then, when Chewbacca goes, right?
Yeah.
It's just Jar Jar Binks going.
Oh my God.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I will say, on a serious note, however, if we change that, would that also change Return of the Jedi to where Endor is now a moon full of Wookiees? Because that would be an improvement.
That was the original plan.
It was the original plan, yes. So George Lucas had the planet of Wookiees like pre-assigned in his mind, but he didn't have full confidence that he would get the sequels. So after he made the first Star Wars film, he's like, I gotta include a Wookiee because I love those characters so much. But then he got the sequels and he's like, well, shoot, now I have to come up with something for this forest moon, and he chose teddy bears.
Which, I mean, I understand. He's a brilliant marketing mind, right? He wants to sell the shit out of kids' toys, right? Mm. And what sells more than teddy bears?
Teddy bears with spears that freaking bash the heads in of stormtroopers.
Those are pretty badass.
Yeah.
I mean, they are Ewoks, though. Let's be real. A battle on Kashyyyk with all of the Chewbaccas. Do you like how I know the name of the planet that they're on, but not the name of the race of the species?
Yeah.
I thought that was a good joke. All the Wookiees, right, would have been awesome, and they did that in Return of the Jedi, or like Revenge of the Sith, right? So they when he did it, he actually got the chance to do it, but I understand why he didn't.
I got a question for you guys. Roundtable question. Mm-hmm. Who's your favorite creature from Star Wars?
Favorite
as
creature.
a non-human.
Favorite non-human creature.
I mean, if you think,
or group of creatures,
like humanoid or human, because
no, I mean like creatures like puppets or masks and stuff.
Okay, we're gonna go.
So sand people would count, even though they might actually technically be human.
Yeah.
Okay. Not that that's my answer.
What would you say? You need to think about it.
Yeah, I know. I know the name of. Sorry, I know. I don't know the name of the creature. No, I do now.
Okay, what is it?
His name is Salacious B. Crumb.
And this is?
It's that creature that surrounds himself around Jabba the Hutt that goes.
That annoying piece of crap.
That little tiny Muppet that likes to just chill out. The little tiny Chihuahua creature. Salacious B. Crumb.
Salacious B. Crumb.
If I was going original trilogy...
or whatever, doesn't matter.
I mean... Shoot. I feel like most of my answers would be the standard answers, and I want to think outside the box, because I love Yoda.
No, I thought you would have a go-to. I just imagine you had a go-to.
Not really.
No.
I've been a fan of all the characters and creatures in Star Wars for a very long time.
Well, who would you narrow it down to?
It would probably be between the Wookiees and Yoda's people.
Okay.
Like, I would be interested to see Yoda's original race, because clearly he's the last of his kind, but there had to be more like him at some point.
Should we write to Disney Lucas?
Oh my gosh. We write a Yoda origin story.
Who's your favorite? No idea. Okay.
There's too many.
There's too many. Okay, well, I like Chewie, so that's me.
There you go. Well, I think that about does it for us, you guys.
I think so.
I'm looking up funny Star Wars facts.
So I guess that doesn't do it for us.
Yeah.
Did you know the name of the band on Tatooine, the Cantina band? They actually have a name.
No.
They're called Figrin D and the Modal Nodes.
Modal nodes.
Okay.
Do you know what the genre of music that they're playing is called? It's not jazz, right? Because that's on Earth.
Yes.
It's J-is.
J-is?
J. Yeah,
With a hyphen is
It's
J-is,
jizz, yeah.
not jizz.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow. That's imaginative.
Yep.
On that note,
Yeah. So thank you all for listening
This is
to our podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Star Wars podcast.
Right.
we did talk a lot about Star Wars this week. We do love hearing from you guys, though, and we'd love to have your questions.
Yeah.
And kind of in our new style, things, about your life that are, revolve around some of movies and TV and
any
music.
questions,
and
Let's be
media.
honest, all of our lives revolve around media in some way, shape, or form.
And I mean, like those kind of questions are really fun. Like, what are you doing this weekend at a concert? Did something weird happen? Is there something that we can help answer for you? It's the kind of questions that we're wanting to go with from here on out, because what is your favorite color in a movie kind of questions aren't working very well,
Right.
and don't allow us to be as funny as we like, which
Which we think we're pretty funny.
I mean,
We have potential, at least.
I like turtles.
I was waiting for it this entire time.
So please send us some information, comments,
do.
questions, whatever, to our email address, which is
podcast at something.random.media.com.
not podcast
Podcast at somethingrandommedia.com.org.
Oh, gosh.
So anyway, we'd love to hear from you guys.
And you
Please
can
send
find
us
this
some
on
stuff.
all the socials and
all
that
the
sort
stuff,
of thing.
all the things. You can see some of the fish I made today on my Snapchat. If
There you
want to check that out.
go.
Yeah, and also they're releasing a Pokeball attachment for the Switch that you can use to catch Pokemon. So you flick that, which is going to be very problematic. Can we be honest with this? Where it's a Pokeball and you throw the Pokeball and you're throwing it at the screen. There's going to be some broken screens here very quick on TVs.
That sounds dangerous.
That's my thing.
Anyway, all right, folks.
Michael, do you know what our social media handles are so that people can ask us questions there as well?
Well, you can find us on Facebook at Something Random Media.
Mm-hmm. Where do they find us on Instagram? Something Random Media. Where do they find us on Twitter?
At Something Random Media.
No, it's SMTNGRNDM. So Something Random. As always, folks, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. We always enjoy everything that we do here, and we hope that you do too. And as always, my name is Charles Joseph Kelly.
And as sometimes, my name is Michael C. Macbeth.
I haven't changed. It's still Joel.
All right.
I'm still here.
Good. Don't ever change, Joel.
You never change? I do. Michael, I'm liking the man bun, man.
Thank you.
It looks good.
Thank you.
We'll talk later.
Okay, and you all have yourselves a wonderful week.
Hey, that's what I say.
Adios. Oh my god. Okay.
Not a fan of the man bun?
I don't like man buns on anybody.
Okay, that's fair.